Welcome to the second and concluding part of our presentation of all member countries of the Confederation of African Football, CAF. We will be showcasing the countries from Central and Southern Africa, and we will start with the Council for East and Central Africa Football Associations, officially abbreviated to COSAFA, which consists of 11 member countries. The first country on this list is Burundi. Burundi's national football team are nicknamed the Swallows, after a species of a swallow that is native in the African tropical environment and found in Burundi and 10 other countries. The Burundians have never qualified for any FIFA World Cup finals, but came close to qualifying for the 1994 edition of the African Cup of Nations and eventually participated in the 2019 edition of AFCON, crashing out of the group stage without scoring a goal. With the apt nickname, Les Riverains de la Mer Rouge, or the Shoremen of the Red Sea, Djibouti have regularly withdrawn from, or not participated in, international and continental competitions, for financial reasons. Recording only 2 wins, 3 draws and 55 defeats from 60 competitive matches, as at 2019, the country is experiencing recent improvements with the introduction of new players. The Eritrean national team is nicknamed the Red Sea Boys. Eritrea has never qualified for the finals of the FIFA World Cup and the Africa Cup of Nations tournaments. With a high number of refugees fleeing the country, Eritrean players and team officials are notably notorious for absconding and seeking asylum when playing matches away from their home country. This has caused the government to exact surety deposits from national team players representing the country in away matches. The Ethiopian national football team, nicknamed the Warriors after a species of ibex indigenous to the country, was one of only 3 teams, along with Egypt and Sudan, to participate in the inaugural Africa Cup of Nations in 1957. It won the 1962 edition, which it hosted. However, success has been elusive since the end of the 1960s, with the team qualifying for the 2013 Africa Cup of Nations after a 31-year absence. Ethiopia also featured in the 2021 edition of AFCON. Their best FIFA World Cup attempt resulted in a third-round elimination in the 2014 qualifiers. The Kenyan football team is colloquially known as the Harambee Stars. Harambee is Kenya's official motto and is present in its coat of arms. It means "let's all pull together" in Swahili. It is the country's tradition of community self-help. Bedeviled by accusations of constant government interference and FIFA suspensions, Kenya has never qualified for any FIFA World Cup finals, although they have appeared in 6 AFCON tournaments, never reaching the second round. Self-styled Amavubi, or in Kinyarwanda, Rwanda's official language, the Wasps. The Rwanda national team got its moniker from a local species of wasps. The Rwandese have never qualified for a FIFA World Cup finals, and they reached their only Africa Cup of Nations finals in 2004, where their 3 group stage matches ended in a loss, a draw and a win, with 4 points that were not enough to take them to the quarterfinals. The Somalia national football team is nicknamed the Ocean Stars, in reference to the country's location on the Indian Ocean, as depicted by their plain blue flag, and the star on the flag. They boast one of the oldest national teams in Africa, but years of civil war since early 1990s ensured no FIFA-sanctioned games could be played within the country. The Ocean Stars have never qualified for FIFA World Cup or AFCON finals. The Bright Stars of South Sudan are so named after the star on the country's flag. The country became sovereign in 2011, playing their very first international match against Kenya as part of their independence celebration. The team remains one of the lowest ranked in Africa, despite a few sterling performances since 2014, when they began vying for a place at the finals of both the FIFA World Cup and AFCON finals. Nicknamed the Falcons of Gideon in reference to the secretary birds of the Sudanese savannas, which is also depicted on its emblem and coat of arms, Sudan was one of the 3 founding members of the Confederation of African Football, CAF, and won the 1970 Africa Cup of Nations as hosts. After their participation in the 1972 and 1976 editions, years of civil wars and decline kept the team away from the Nations Cup until 2008. They are yet to make a World Cup finals appearance. The Tanzanian national team is called the Kilimanjaro Stars, after the highest point in the continent, and more recently, Taifa Stars. Taifa translates to nation in Swahili. Since qualifying for the 1980 Africa Cup of Nations, Tanzania endured 39 years without major success, struggling in both African and World Cup qualifiers, until the 2019 edition of AFCON. Qualification to the World Cup still proves elusive, although the team frequently makes its mark at the regional level. The cranes of Uganda got their nickname from the country's national bird, the golden-crested crane. Since their Africa Cup of Nations debut in 1967, the Ugandan cranes featured frequently in subsequent editions, with their best finish as runners-up in 1978, being their last appearance for 39 years until 2017 and 2019. Uganda has had even worse luck in the World Cup qualifiers, having never made it to any World Cup finals. Lastly, the leopards of the islands and archipelago of Zanzibar deserve a mention. Prior to the union of Zanzibar and Tanganyika in 1964, Zanzibar was a fully independent member of the Confederation of African Football, CAF, but never qualified for the African Nations Cup. In March 2017, Zanzibar were admitted to CAF, becoming its 55th member, only for their membership to be rescinded 4 months later, with CAF President Ahmed Ahmed claiming the region should never have been admitted, as it is not a sovereign nation.
In the next part of this presentation, we will be learning about the Southern African teams. Please take time to like this video and others in our channel and subscribe for updates.
The fifth regional body of CAF is the Council of Southern Africa Football Associations, COSAFA, which is the second largest region after WAFU, with 14 countries. Here is a list of members of COSAFA. Angola's national team is known as Las Palancas Negras, meaning the sable antelopes in English, after its national symbol. Angola has qualified for the Africa Cup of Nations, AFCON, 8 times, with their best performances seeing them eliminated twice in the quarter-finals in 2008 and 2010. They have also qualified for the FIFA World Cup finals once, in 2006. The zebra is the national animal of Botswana, and its national team is aptly nicknamed the Zebras. From 1994 till date, Botswana's attempt to qualify for an AFCON finals yielded fruit only once in 2012, when they crashed out of the group stage. The Zebras of Botswana have also never been able to qualify for any edition of the FIFA World Cup. Les coelacanths, as the coelacanths of Comoros are called in French, are named after a rare fish of the West Indian Ocean, found off the coasts of the Comoro Islands. Until 2006, the country's FIFA-rated matches were rarer than the fish they are named after. In 2007, Comoros began to participate in the World Cup and the AFCON qualifiers, and they qualified for the Continental Finals in 2021, where they beat Ghana before crashing out of the group stage, in what is regarded as one of the biggest shocks in Nations Cup history. Formerly called Swaziland, the Kingdom of Eswatini calls its national team Salangu Semnakadi, the Zulu phrase for the King's Shield. An iconic reference to the Swazi battle shield that appears on their national flag and other flags related to Zulus. It has never qualified for the World Cup or the Africa Cup of Nations finals. and its first World Cup qualifier victory since 1992 was a home win against the more superior Togolese team back in 2008. The crocodiles of Lesotho are nicknamed after the national symbol depicted on their coat of arms. It is one of the African countries that have never qualified for both the FIFA World Cup finals and the Africa Cup of Nations finals since their first attempts in 1974. Their highest position in the FIFA World Ranking was 105th in August 2014. Madagascar's national team is called the Beria after a local species of zebu. The Madagascans have never qualified for the finals of the World Cup. The island country took part in its first Africa Cup of Nations in 2019 when it reached the quarter-final stage. Among its biggest wins was a 1-0 home victory over Egypt in the qualification rounds of the 2004 Africa Cup of Nations. This has been surpassed by a most shocking 2-0 triumph over Nigeria in the AFCON 2019 group stage.
Malawi's national team players are called the Flames, from the Malawian flag with flames of the rising sun.
They have qualified for 3 AFCON finals in 1984, 2010 and 2021 and are also 3-time winners of the East African Regional Championship, despite being in Southern Africa. Malawi never went beyond the group stage in their 3 AFCON finals, and they have also never qualified to play in any edition of FIFA World Cup finals. Mauritius national team are nicknamed the Dodos after an extinct bird endemic to Mauritius, and Club M in reference to the country's initial. While Mauritius has never qualified for the World Cup finals, its most significant achievements are qualification for the 1974 AFCON finals, where the team was eliminated in the group stage, and winning the Indian Ocean Island Games football tournament in 1985 and 2003. Named after the most poisonous snake in Africa, the Mambas of Mozambique are one of the several African teams that have never qualified for a FIFA World Cup. However, they have qualified for 4 Africa Cup of Nations finals in 1986, 1996, 1998 and most recently the 2010 Africa Cup of Nations in Angola, being eliminated in the first round in all 4 editions. Mozambique has yet to reach a 5th AFCON finals despite several close misses. The Brave Warriors of Namibia are named for the indigenous warriors of Namibia, such as the Brave Herero Warriors. They have never qualified for the FIFA World Cup, as all attempts since 1994 were unsuccessful. But they have made 3 appearances in the Africa Cup of Nations, going out in the first round in all 3 competitions in 1998, 2008 and 2019. Notably also, Namibia has never won any COSAFA Cup tournament since their regional affiliation in 1997. The countless islands of Seychelles were known to harbour pirates and corsairs in the 1800s, and so their national team is named the Pirates. Although Seychelles feature constantly in the regional COSAFA Cup finals, and have even once won the Indian Ocean Island Games as host in 2011, they have never qualified for the FIFA World Cup or the AFCON finals. Bafana Bafana is a nickname given to the South African national side by its fans. Although its literal translation is the boys, its actual meaning in Zulu is go boys. South Africa was the 4th founding member of CAF, but was banned by FIFA due to its racist apartheid constitution. Since international bans were lifted in 1991, the country has featured prominently in continental soccer at club and national levels, going on to 3 World Cups in 1998, 2002, and as host in 2010, but never advancing beyond the group stage. South Africa also won the AFCON finals in 1996 and went on to the 1997 FIFA Confederations Cup as Africa's champions. They also featured in the tournament in 2009 as host and finished 4th. The first African host of the FIFA World Cup at the senior level continues to wax strong in both the Southern Africa region and on the continental stage. Zambia's national team is named the Chipolopolo, meaning copper bullets, for the country's major economic activity, copper mining. During the 1980s, the team was called KK11 after the nation's founding president, Kenneth Kaunda. Although the team has never qualified for the FIFA World Cup finals, it has 17 Africa Cup of Nations final appearances to its credit, and winning the 2012 edition. A tragic plane crash on April 27, 1993, wiped out the whole national team, save for their absent captain. Riding on general sympathy, the new Chipolopolo was everyone's favorite at the 1994 AFCON finals, where they finished admirably as runners-up to Nigeria. The Warriors of Zimbabwe are named after the indigenous Zulu warriors. The team has never qualified for the FIFA World Cup finals, but has qualified for the Africa Cup of Nations 5 times. Zimbabwe has also won the COSAFA Cup a record 6 times. Earlier in November 2021, Harare and Nairobi dissolved their federations and replaced them with government officials. Consequently, on the 1st of March 2022, Zimbabwe and Kenya were suspended due to the interference of their respective governments. On the 31st of March, the suspension was made indefinite and was ratified by FIFA. This concludes the list of all 54 members of the Confederation of African Football. We will be bringing more info data on sports in Africa and around the world. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, and leave positive comments. If there are specific topics you want us to cover, please feel free to say so in your comments.
All our animated and static multimedia products are available for sale. You can also contact us for your customized multimedia products.